and their coaching staff that I think are really good up-and-coming coaches. But the bottom line is they're not a good team. But here's the truth. You got to continue to obviously, number one, continue to obviously doing what you're doing offensively. I would come out guns blazing, throwing it all over the place. This secondary, okay, I think I can make the argument is worse than Grambling's. Guys, they are not good. And Grambling actually gave a damn. They are not a good secondary. They are 125th in the country in passing yards allowed. The reason it's not worse and why they're not dead last in passing yards allowed is mainly due to the fact that they like to run the football a lot. I will get to what I think happens later into this at number 5, but I'm coming out guns blazing. A main reason with that being is because you've seen what's happening on social media with Jaden Daniels. See, Jaden is not, I don't want to say not helping himself a little, but like last night, he's on ESPN2. He says, he was asked about, what do you think about the Heisman? He says, all I got to say is go Tigers. And we love that. We cheer that. And why wouldn't we cheer that? Because it makes us as fans feel great about what he's doing, about what he's saying, that he's a part of this program. He will always be a part of this program and the greatness that he has done. I'm coming out guns blazing, throwing it all over the place. I'm not trying to tell you to abandon the run. I'm not trying to tell you to, not get some of the guys in the backfield the ball. I don't mean that. But I'm going to tell you, after all the shit that Jaden has taken this week from guys who also had 3 losses when they won the Heisman and others, and the odds makers saying that Jaden is not the front runner at the current moment, I would shut them up. Give him the 80 yards, I think it may be, or 40 yards, because you got another game against A&M. Let him run the ball a little bit if he wants to. Come out guns blazing, because the X's and O's, the Jimmies and Joes, tell me when I watch film all week on Georgia State, they are not good in the secondary. Feed Malik Neighbors. Feed Brian Thomas Jr. Feed Kyron Lacey. I mean, look, it's not just Jaden that has the potential to break records and set things off here. It's also Malik Neighbors. Get Malik Neighbors involved early. Let him score. Let him get as many yards. He has a chance to be the all-time leading receiving wide receiver in LSU's history, and look at how many dudes that have been here. Come out guns blazing. I'm going to tell you this. I want you to go out there and put up as many points as you can, God willingly can, for Jaden Daniels. Because, quite honestly, guys, you want to talk about what could have been a shitty football season? If he's not here, you would have had it. You would have had it. He's left everything on the line for you. It's time for you to go and put it all on the line for him. Okay. Number 2. You're going to score a lot of points. So when I say this, stay with me in the beginning. If you're not going to change scheme defensively, so we hadn't seen anything different, then you're finally in this game going to have the potential, or you should have the potential to see different personnel. At this exact moment, winning is just winning, right? Like, you're not, if you beat Georgia State by 20 or if you beat Georgia State by 62, it doesn't really matter. It might make you feel differently. It might look differently in some ways of recruiting, but it really doesn't matter in this game. To be real with you, all season long, I've heard a lot of you say the following, which I never really disagreed with anybody on. You said play Whit Weeks more. Okay, I hadn't said anything on the show. You said, let's see Deshaun Womack. Yeah, okay. Look, I'm a Deshaun Womack homer. Guys, he committed to LSU on my show. I am a Deshaun, believe me, more than you, Believe me, I'm more of a Deshaun Womack homer than you are. Let's see what he looks like. Get some more of those younger corners out there. I'm with you. Let's see Kylan Jackson with the first team in the secondary and see what he can do. If you're not going to change anything up, which you did not change anything up from Alabama to Florida, well, it's basically what you're telling me is it's personnel, it's not scheme. Okay. Well, then if you believe it's not scheme and you're going to go with that argument, then you better show me some different personnel this week when you had the chance to win, because you know what you're going to get with other dudes, right? Like, you know for a fact what you're going to get with those other guys. I know you got 2 seniors on the back end at safety, and Andre Sam and Major Burns. I go to them and say, look, we're going to rotate you in and out. Let's not get you hurt going into Texas A&M week. That's what I'm telling them. But what I'm really thinking in my head is, hey, man, we need to look at some different personnel, because I don't know if there's any other option for you defensively. Let's get Weeks involved. Let's get Deshaun Womack involved. Hell, I'm going to get Braden Swinson more involved. I'm going to throw out something crazy. Get Christian Brathwaite a little bit more involved. Let's see what he can do. Because if you're going to continue to have struggles, now I don't think Greg Penn's coming out. I don't think Greg Penn's had a bad year at all. If you're going to continue to struggle defensively in this game, listen, I'm telling you, man, I am telling you, I know that they're 6-4. I know that they don't look good on film and on paper. But if you're not willing, listen to me, if you do not come out there with some intensity on Saturday, the Granger kid, the quarterback from Georgia State, will light you up on the ground. He's going to guys, he is one of the better athletes that you're going to see this year. I promise you that. He's one of the better athletes. So, all of that being said, if you're going to continue to do the same shit, I better see different shit out there, or different personnel out there, because there comes a point where if you're gonna draw that line in the sand, if you're Matt House, meaning it's not me, it's you. Okay, you're not completely out of the what's the word I'm looking for here? You're not completely out of the woods on that, because you haven't changed anything. At some point, you're going to have to do it. Now, bowl games, I don't know if y'all remember this. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but memory serves me correctly. Bowl games don't go against red shirts anymore. So if a guy's played a game, like if he played against Grambling, we hadn't seen him again, you could play him the rest of the way and not burn a red shirt. You know who else I wouldn't mind seeing? I wouldn't mind seeing Jackson Howard. Some of the young offensive linemen. I'm not even going to say anything about the offense. Do I want to see more offensive pieces or younger guys along the offense? Yeah, okay. I'm going to probably get that. But I'm not changing shit with them. If they want to go out there and stat pad, shit. If Jaden wants to go out there and play the whole goddamn game, I'm just going to tell you. Now, that's a decision that he's going to have to make on himself. Now, you can protect him, take him out, and say, look, man, you got a long future ahead of you. You don't want to get him hurt. I'm with you on all that. I'm with you on all that. But if those guys say that they want to play, by God, I'm not doing shit. Defensively, it's different. Number 3. Here's the first real schematical thing that we'll talk about here. I want to see. Okay. How do I want to phrase this? I know your secondary has been bad at times. Georgia State shouldn't, not going to say they won't, should not be able to throw the ball around enough for you to have to worry about Javen Toviano, even Sage Ryan, even Ashton Stamps. Ashton Stamps came in the game a lot last week. We hadn't talked about him a lot last week. They put Sage in the nickel. They take Perk out. There's a lot of different things that they would do. Now, I will say this to Matt House's defense. Guys, the drives that Harold Perkins was not on the field and you had a more traditional defense, you got 3 stops on third down. I'm not saying it's on Perk. It's not on Perk. They're doing things differently with Perk in there when they could just simply say, hey, let's run our defense, but be creative enough to utilize him. They're not doing it like that. Play bump and run man-to-man on the outside, or play man-to-man on the outside. Play man-to-man. You're going to have to change. If there is a week that you're going to have to change some shit up, okay, up front in the front 7, this could be the week that you try it and you accomplish it and you do it. Georgia State's going to come out here and run zone blocking schemes. They're going to run power. They're going to run trap. They're going to run the running back in a speed motion out of the backfield, and they're going to run quarterback power. They're going to run zone reads. They're going to run the RPO slants off of those reads. They're going to run the triple option that you see Mike Denbrock do all the time. Either you're going to give it, you're going to keep it, or you're going to throw it on the tight end out, or what we would just call the flat. Okay, so today's style of the triple option, they're going to run that a lot. At least they've shown on film that they're going to run that a lot. So, with that being said, you need to stack the box and get as many players to the football as you can. If Granger, the quarterback from Georgia State, throws a bomb to a wide receiver and the corner gets beat and they score, all right, here comes Jaden. What I would not allow and continue to tolerate is teams running all over you. Guys, last week, you gave up 177 yards on the ground. I've said this multiple times this week. I didn't write this down, but I'm going to go ahead and do the math in my head anyway. The last 2 weeks, you've given up 465 yards on the ground. You better not let that happen this week. Now, do I think it's going to happen? No, I do not. No, I do not think that's going to happen this week. But it doesn't mean that you don't need to get hats to the ball, make tackles, make plays. You need to. I'm not worried about them throwing the football. Guys, they are ass at times at throwing the football. Like complete ass. But one thing is for sure. There is literally, and I mean absolutely, literally nothing to lose with what I'm begging. Stacking the box, blitz, nothing to lose. If you win by 20, you win by 60. It doesn't matter. Style points don't matter in this one. Well, let's run the argument to that, and I know that there are coaches on this staff that listen to our show, and I'm grateful for that. And I know that the argument, which I have already defended that argument twice today, well, we got to run our defense, and they got to continue to get reps with our defense. Guys, it's been 2 years of your defense, right? Like it's been 2 years, which I will tell anybody. It's been 2 years. Shit, you're 10 games into the season, about to be 11 games into the season. If they ain't picking it up now, the reps don't mean shit. They run over 700 reps of this shit in game time. Another 700 in practice, if not more, 10,000 or 10,000, 1,000 times in practice. If 1,700 reps and they're not picking it up, newsflash, they're not going to. They're not going to. So you need to change some shit up. You need to change some shit up. All right, number 4. I've talked about him a lot tonight, but I will continue to reemphasize this. If you do not give them the different looks, okay, going based off of number 3, and based off of the schemes, the offensive run game schemes that they will run, you can't have an issue on your hands if the team that we saw the last 2 weeks shows up. Now, again, let me preface, you're not going to lose. All right? Like, you're not going to lose this game. Losing the game defensively, in my mind, is giving up 21 plus points to them because ULL didn't do it. Okay? James Madison didn't do it. But you have not had a great ability of stopping anybody all year long. You also have not had really the ability, in which has kind of been your kryptonite to some extent, Florida State, Alabama, Ole Miss. Did those games ring a bell? When quarterbacks have had the ability to move and run on you, whether it be they're running the throw or you having a little bit of a mix with Jackson Dart where he's throwing it and he's running it, having a good game, or if it's like Jalen Milroe. If you think that this Georgia State quarterback, how do I want to say? The Georgia State quarterback Granger is in the athletic realm, okay? He's in the realm of a Jalen Milroe. Now, he's not as explosive of an athlete, but I'm going to tell you, he ain't slow. Like, brother is picking him up and putting him down. That kid is not running anything worse than a 4.4. And if you do not contain him and be disciplined against him, he's going to beat you. This is what they're going to do. They're going to run power with him. They're going to run zone read with him. And, guys, it's going to be a little old school football. The likelihood that you see a speed option in this game is probably 97%. And if you do not take the right man, they're gonna get yards on you. They're gonna push you around a little bit. You need to finally do what they're telling you to do. If you're not in position to make the play because of scheme, I will be the first human being to come out here and call it out. There are people on this beat that know what the frick they're talking about and can call it out. But if you're not reading right, if you're not hitting the right holes defensively up front, which you have not done, guys, we have not done it in the last 2 weeks. It has not happened. You're getting bullied, to be honest with you. I cannot stand being bullied. I know y'all think I'm crazy. I know you think I'm crazy. Right? Like, I know y'all come in here and you say to yourself sometimes, man, that damn Blake, he's crazy as hell. I know I am. But here's what I'm not. I'm not a damn fool to look at something, watch something, see it for the last 6 days, and say to myself, man, they run the football pretty effectively. And you know what else, guys? I talked about this last night. Okay? They are a top 10 team on third down. Offensively. So they're going to run the ball 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, 7 yards, 12 yards. That's all they want to do. That's all that they want to do. Okay. And it's not like they're not going to be slow with it. They're going to run up to the line. They're going to get up. Now, what they have shown is more of a speed up. Now, the last 2 weeks, they kind of had to because they were getting their asses kicked. Don't let this Granger kid, don't let McCullen, don't let these kids that are out, or I shouldn't say kids, but these players, because the running back has 200 rushing attempts on the year. I think 230 something. I'm not worried about this game. I think LSU is going to put up 55 plus. I really do offensively. I think they're that bad on defense. But I look at this, okay? Like I look at this and say, don't think that your defense is going to play a G5 team and you're just going to be out of the, it's just going to be smooth pickings. Guys, this isn't playing Army. To be real with you, I know Gramblin's not having a good year, but Grambling moved the ball on you. All right, number 5. This one's going to be simple and it's going to happen, but it needs to be emphasized anyway. Don't put 5 in harm's way. Now, if he wants to take off and run, that's on him. I'm not calling one design run for him all game. Not a one. I want Jaden to go for 400 in the air. I want him to go for 400 in the air. I know it's not what you would say is great sportsmanship to run it up a little bit. But, man, I got to be real with you. I don't really care, but stop it. Don't accept me paying you we pay you $1 million. I say we, like I'm the one helping pay. LSU's paying you $1 million or such, somewhere in that vicinity to bring your happy ass down here and get them cheeks clapped. You're going to lay there and get them cheeks clapped. I want Jaden to go for 400. I want this man to win the Heisman. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Jane Daniels has moved himself into the first round draft selections. Some believe he's going to be taken by Tampa. I talked to somebody today who told me that Tampa has him and Drake May neck and neck, but he's number 2 on their board, meaning Tampa. My heart cannot take Jane Daniels being at Tampa. But this man is one of the best throwers that we've seen in college all year. Hell, I think he's one of the best pure throwers of a football. Guys, he throws a pretty ball, man. Throws a pretty deep ball. I want him to go for 400. I think that would be the one thing that he has not done. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure Jane has not thrown for 400 yards in a game. I'm letting him rip it. So, yeah. All right. Guys, we got some comments in here before we get to a really quick break in just a second. Kevin says 5 is going to run. It's in his DNA. Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm not saying to not. And look, he wants to probably go for 1,000 yards rushing. I'm not telling him not to run. All I'm saying is I want to see him throw that. Guys, I don't think y'all realize how bad they are in the air. Oh, he did throw for 400 against Ole Miss. It's true. Yeah, I stand corrected. I'm not telling him not to do that. But guys, I don't think y'all realize how bad they are in the secondary. I don't know why I forgot about Ole Miss. What's crazy is, man, is that how do you look? You know what you got to do to stop Jaden? This year, I don't know, because nobody's really stopped him. you got to play 2 free high, okay, and hope that your front four can get to him. It's exactly what Florida State did. Florida State would put 7 in coverage, and they rushed with their front four and got to him. And that is the kryptonite for every quarterback in the country, NFL, college, high school. If you can get home before, you're going to be really deadly. Now, the one thing that I will say, all right, is you do face a team that can do that in 2 weeks. Guys, Texas A&M, I promise you this. Texas A&M is the best defensive line you've seen all year. Here's another truth. They're the best front seven you've seen all year. Without question, they're the best front seven that you've seen all year. I would make the argument that they are more they don't have a Jordan Davis, right? Meaning A&M, they don't have that guy. They ain't far behind. They got some interior dudes on that defensive line that will mess you up. McKinley Jackson, Walter Nolan. Like, bro, they got dudes that will mess you up. Okay? I think he's going to have to run in that game. And I just don't want to see him run and get hurt, right? Now, I know he got hurt and got concussed in the pocket, sitting in the pocket, but I just don't want to see him take unnecessary hits. But you know what is going to be nice? What's really going to be nice is the white helmets, purple jerseys and gold and white pants. I love that combo, man. I love that combo. I wish we wore it more. I wish we wore more than one time a year. I wish we wore during, if you're playing